Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it's the first time you're visiting. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Hayley and I review fragrances. So in today's video, I am going to be doing a list that is all based around sweet, vanilla, lactonic, milky fragrances that are perfect for the summertime. Some of these are floral too, but all of them have that kind of milky vanilla quality to them as well. If that's your type of thing, then please do keep on watching. But before we get started on the content, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel. It really helps this channel out, and I would love to have you as part of this amazing fragrance community. So now that is out of the way, let's jump into the first fragrance. First up is the fragrance that inspired the concept of this video, because I was wearing it the other day and I thought this fragrance is the perfect milky vanilla scent profile that is perfect for the summer, but it's also sweet and fruity. Now, Chantilly, this is a mixture of sweet fruits, think strawberry and melon, and then cream. So Chantilly cream, coconut milk, vanilla. This is very pretty and feminine, perfect for the summertime. Even though it's milky and lactonic, it's not overwhelming. It won't be cloying in the summertime. It is definitely sweet, but it's also fun, fruity, and playful at the same time. I mostly get the sweet strawberry and a little bit of watery melon, not watermelon, but a watery, juicy, almost like a honeydew melon, mixed in with some Chantilly cream, maybe a little bit of coconut too, and then definitely a sweet yet light and airy vanilla. Chantilly is such a fun, feminine fragrance, one of the most feminine fragrances in my collection. And even though this is a sweet, milky vanilla, I feel like you can wear this in the summer. You can wear it all year round, but it shines in the high heat for whatever reason. Have you tried Chantilly before? If so, let me know what you think about it. Such a pretty fragrance. Next up is Butterfly by Alexandre J. I have reviewed this once already on my channel. I did have a decant of it before, but now I have the full-sized bottle. How gorgeous is Alexandre J packaging? One of the most exquisite bottle designs in my opinion. I have 3 full-size bottles from Alexandre J, and I just think they are phenomenal. Now, for me, Butterfly is the perfect milky, musky vanilla with floral touches. If you like fragrances similar to Blanche Bete, you will likely love this fragrance. They definitely have a similar vibe, but they have differences too. This is creamy, but very light, not a thick, creamy vibe. So more like milky coconut milk with a very light vanilla. It has a powdery quality to it as well. You have a tuberose note, and the tuberose pulls very milky and light. It's not super sweet. It's not super bubblegum-like. It's also very musky. Like I said, a little bit powdery. Just a really beautiful, think light floral coconut milk and vanilla. I think this one is exquisite. Yes, it is a luxury price point, that has to be said, but this is a very elegant, uplifting, milky, creamy vanilla. I think this one is so well done, and I know a lot of you will like this. If you can get a sample, I would definitely recommend it. If I can find anywhere that stocks samples, I will link it below, but this is quite a new fragrance, so I don't know if there will be anywhere that does it yet, but it's definitely worth sampling. I guess that leads me on to Blanche Bete by Liquid Imaginaires, and I know I said it's a little bit similar to Butterfly, and it is, but there are still differences with the fragrances, so I might as well have them back to back in the video. Now, this also has a cacao note, and you definitely get that, which sets it apart from Butterfly. This one is even more musky, and it has that magical, majestic feel about it. It is so hard to describe what this smells like, but it's what I would imagine an angel smells like. This is creamy. You have that light tuberose note in it too. And if you are a regular viewer of my channel, you will know that me and tuberose do not really get along. And I absolutely love how it's done in Blanche Bete, and I love how it's been done in Butterfly too. It's not that prominent. It just adds this soft, creamy, angelic vibe. This is also milky, a little bit more musky, a little bit less vanillic than Butterfly. Which one do I prefer out of the two? Very difficult because they do have differences. I would say this one is a little stronger on the florals. You have that dusting of cacao. It's a little bit more lactonic too, very, very creamy. But I can't pick between the two of them at this stage. I know many of you have probably already tried Blanche Bete and you know what it smells like, but I feel like this is the perfect creamy floral vanilla for the summertime. Next up is Cotton Candy by Private Mood. Now you're probably thinking that doesn't sound milky, creamy and vanillic, but it definitely is. Now it does have a cotton candy note in here. It is very, very sweet. It also has quite a lot of caramel, but it has this creamy vanilla in the base. Think Bianco latte with cotton candy. That is the mixture you get with this. It is such a pretty, fun, and feminine fragrance. It is very sweet. You have to enjoy your sweet fragrances. But if you like caramel, vanilla, musk, and some cotton candy, this is the one I would recommend trying. It also has that coconut milky quality to it as well. But it's just very fun. I know I've said that so many times, and I never thought I would like a cotton candy type of fragrance, but this one is really, really good. Next up is Tonkandy by Hermetica. Now, the notes of this wouldn't necessarily suggest that it's a milky vanilla type of fragrance. This is more tonka bean, as the name would suggest. It does smell like a tonka bean candy, but it's got this kind of rich, milky caramel vibe about it. And it smells a little bit like a Werther's Original to me, but it has that milky vanillic touch to it as well. It has a little bit of a floral touch. It's very, very sweet, and it's a little bit stickier and heavier than some of the other fragrances that I've mentioned. But if you have been looking for a tonka fragrance that's also very rich and creamy and caramelized and vanillic, this is the one you should sample. It is so, so addictive. I find that tonka fragrances normally aren't creamy and lactonic, and this one definitely is. Very, very sweet and rich, as I've mentioned, and it just smells incredible in the high heat. I wore it the other day when it was a hot day, and wow, this one packed a punch. So yeah, I would definitely recommend sampling Tonkandy if you like the sound of a creamy tonka vanilla milky fragrance. Next up is Queening by Mind Games. I think this is my favorite fragrance from Mind Games. This is such a phenomenal vanilla fragrance. I'm so addicted to this one. It is the perfect blend between coconut milk and vanilla, but it's also a little bit musky. It's light enough to wear in the summertime. It's not super dense. There's a slight fruity vibe in here too. Very, very slight. It has some green apple in here. But then it's got a little bit of a boozy vibe, a little bit of rum and also some saffron, but lightly done. There's an orris note which gives it a slightly earthy quality and a cotton note as well. And I just think this is one of the prettiest vanilla fragrances in my collection. The only downside is the longevity is not great. I roughly get 5 hours wear from this, but I do not let that put me off. I am not someone who thinks about the longevity of their fragrances too much. I know some people it's the be all and end all. For me, it's not. If I love a fragrance and I love the fragrance scent profile, I will just decant a little bit of it and put it in my handbag and spray it throughout the day. But this is just the most elegant coconut milk vanilla fragrance that's also got this slight bit of spiciness, very, very slight. The saffron is light, a slight booziness. Oh, it's so creamy on the skin. I just love it. I just love, love, love this fragrance. Oh wow, I'm hyping it up now. Get a sample of it. It's an expensive fragrance. The longevity might be a make or break for you, but Queening is such a good name because I do feel like a queen when I wear this one. Next up is Vanilla Crush by Gleam. Now, this is my second fragrance from this brand. I think it's called Espresso Please, which I featured in different videos. It's a coffee-based fragrance. But Vanilla Crush is such a gem. This is a very sweet yet milky vanilla. It's not super complex. You have a pear blossom note in the opening, which kind of gives it a lightness to it. And then there's a spun sugar note as well, which gives it that kind of brown sugar vibe. If you like fragrances like the Seven Virtues Vanilla Woods, it has that kind of vibe to it, maybe a little bit of Kjale's Vanilla 28 as well. But Vanilla Crush is a little bit more milky and lactonic. There is an iris note in here. It's not super prominent, it's quite light, but it adds a slightly powdery feel to the overall composition. But it is just such a nice milky vanilla fragrance that you can wear in the summertime. It is quite straightforward. It is not overbearing at all. It would make a perfect layering scent too. But I love the lightness that that pear blossom note gives in the opening. And I think the additional note of the iris and also the musk in the base softens this somewhat. So this is one I would definitely recommend sampling if you like the sound of a quite soft, creamy lactonic vanilla. So those were all of the fragrances that I wanted to showcase in today's video. I could have included quite a few more. I have a lot of fragrances in this category, but I wanted to mix it up and give a little bit of variety. If you do want any in-depth reviews on some of the fragrances that I mentioned today, please do let me know down in the comments. But when you think about milky, creamy vanilla fragrances that are perfect for the summertime, what fragrances would you recommend? Please let me know down in the comments below. But thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure as always. I hope to see you in a future video to come. Thank you so much and goodbye.